Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today I would like to give you my review of Titus Andronicus by William Shakespeare. So Titus Andronicus is one of Shakespeare's tragedies. It is mostly written by Shakespeare. Some scholars believe that he may have collaborated with George Peele, I believe, on Act 1, but that the rest of the writing is most definitely his own. And I have to say, I definitely got the same feeling. It's very strange. I never thought I would say this, but having read two of Shakespeare's collaborations recently, being his collaborations with John Fletcher on Henry VIII and Two Noble Kinsmen, I could actually feel a difference in his writings, in the writing style, to know, yes, this feels more comfortable. This definitely feels like more natural Shakespeare that I'm used to. The plot is rather difficult to describe. I will preview it with this caveat, which is to quote the Reduced Shakespeare Company, one of my favorite shows of all time. Titus Andronicus is proof that Shakespeare went through a brief Quentin Tarantino phase. And it is certainly his bloodiest play that I have read to date. Since it's a tragedy, it's no surprise that there will be a fairly high body count by the end of the play. That's how all of Shakespeare's plays work. Well, certainly all of his tragedies. But despite that formula, this play has to have one of the highest, since it opens with a dead body, and the count only goes up from there. This play, I believe, is set towards the end of the Roman Empire, when they were being invaded by a variety of Germanic tribes, including the Goths. However, it is not based in any actual historical facts or people. Tamara, Queen of the Goths, is brought with her children to Rome as some of Titus's prisoners. Titus Andronicus and his sons have all fought bravely in this war against the Goths and are coming home in a triumphal procession. However, Saturninus and his brother Basanius seem to be in charge of Rome at this point and don't seem to like or trust Titus very much, such that Saturninus takes Tamara to be his bride and queen and marries her right then and there. Titus and his family are not happy about this, especially considering that they are now related. Titus's daughter Lavinia is either engaged to or married to Saturninus's brother Basanius. Tamara has also begged Titus for mercy on her son, one of her sons, whom Titus has taken prisoner, but Titus refuses, citing Roman justice practices, and has him executed. This is all just Act 1. In Act 2, things get even more twisted. We discover that Tamara is having an affair with Aaron, one of her slaves who is called the Moor. Aaron is incredibly devious. I would say that if he isn't a prototype for Iago, he is certainly heavily influenced by the characters of Kyd's play The Spanish Tragedy and by Marlowe's The Jew of Malta. That being said, his character is not handled very well racially. However, the 16th century never handled questions of race very well, so we must take that with an extremely large historical pinch of salt. Not only is Aaron ready to deceive the emperor in adultery, he also helps Tamara's younger sons, Demetrius and Caius, plot to rape and maim Lavinia, Titus's daughter, which they do. They both rape her, and then to prevent her spilling this secret, they cut out her tongue and cut off both her hands. Thus, the revenge plot starts. which only gets bloodier and bloodier and ends in a very strange moment, which I would almost describe as Sweeney Todd meets Hamlet. Make of that what you will. I did not have the courage to watch an adaptation of this play. There is one on BritBox from the BBC Shakespeare collection, which has a fantastic looking cast if you're interested in watching it. However, I am not able to handle blood very well, so I took a pass on watching it and stuck to simply reading the text. I have to say, it was a bit boring for me because it did follow that typical revenge play plot. And having read The Jew of Malta in university, I could easily see where this play was going to go and how it was going to play out. And for the most part, I was right. However, I will say Aaron's storyline and his character were the most interesting to me, and I really wish that we had gotten to see just a little bit more of him. However, one thing that I absolutely loved, and I can't describe it in too much detail because it would be incredible spoilers, but there is a moment in Act 4 where something happens completely out of the blue. It has not been foreshadowed anywhere else in the play, but it has a huge effect on Aaron and Aaron's life. And he has been pure conniving evil all the way up till this point. But suddenly, when presented with this huge change in his life, he has an incredible change of heart, and he shows real humanity and real vulnerability, even if just for that moment. And because of that, you almost start to root for him, which makes him, in my point of view, a fascinating villain. And those are the kind that I always like to read about. I don't think it was Shakespeare's strongest play purely because I don't think the style of the revenge play really suits him, given how much psychological depth he wants to give his characters. In my experience, the revenge play doesn't really allow for the kind of character development that Shakespeare usually gives. But it was still, I hesitate to say, an enjoyable read, given how horrible the events of the plot are. But I am glad that I read it. And if you are also interested, especially since we are nearing Halloween, it could be an excellent time to give it a try. If you have also read it, let me know what you think in the description below. And if you have any further questions about it, I would love to try to answer them for you. Until next time, be safe, be well, and happy reading. Bye everyone.